welcome to Saving a Half-Wasted Day over here in mentally ill land. Y'all be watching these beige baddies and then you wonder why your YouTube recommended sucks and YouTube is boring. If you're new here or have never met me, hi, my name is Aliyah. I am a 23, almost 24-year-old homeowner based in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I do this content creation thing as my full-time job. The TikToks, the Instagram, the YouTube videos, this is my entire shebang. And even if you know who I am, I hope you enjoyed that little refresher. But something that's new on the Aliyah characterization card is that I have ADHD. Ah, I got my jaw by jacket. No! I am no psychiatrist or doctor or anybody that is a specific professional in ADHD and what it is and blah, 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 blah. But girl, let me tell you, getting that diagnosis changed my life for the better. But some of those days that has passed since getting that diagnosis, I am still just as confused as I was pre-diagnosis. I sometimes still do not really understand what's going on 90% of the time. Now, on top of me having ADHD, I do have a history of mental illness and health issues such as seasonal depression. And would you look at that? My seasonal depression season is in fact the summer. You're probably thinking, Aliyah, how is this even legitimately possible? It's more sun, the days are longer. That's exactly the problem. As somebody who's in the South, not the deep South, but the South, I tend to struggle with this thing called, the days are too long, so I never feel any sense of urgency. So on top of me taking forever to do anything ever, I always feel like the days are too long to the point where I think I have all the time in the world to do the absolute bare minimum when in fact, I know I feel super bad whenever I take super long to do anything. So if I told you this morning I was supposed to start a cute little work week in my life vlog to give you behind the scenes of what it's like to be a full-time creator with behind the scenes, brand deals, what I film, how I storyboard, how I shoot stuff, blah, 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 how I balance several platforms, whoop-de-doo, I got overwhelmed because I had to wash my hair. Before I knew it, I thought about it and said, okay, we're just gonna wash it and we'll have a filming day today because that makes the most absolute sense. Some may think. Because I had a themed video idea that I didn't really outline because I'm trying to learn how to, como se dice, let go and let loose and have fun without planning everything. That's the ADHD talking, type A, real bad. It's never that simple over here in mentally ill land, now is it? I wake up at about 8 o'clock this morning knowing I'm gonna have a filming day today, but I low-key hate filming hair content. It's overstimulating, it requires too much of attention, things get foggy while I'm in the shower, but then it's like I already don't like hair being on my body when I'm in the shower, so I don't want to film in the shower, but at the same time, it's like it's not aesthetically pleasing to watch my hair in the tub, so it's just too much. So if I told you I spent an hour, almost two, laying in bed, figuring out, okay, maybe I'll just wash my hair first and then start the vlog after I'm done. Good plan, very good plan, right? So I continue on with my downward spiral of how I just need to get it together, wash my hair. I know how I wanted this video to start, whoop-de-doo, just for me to realize my day isn't starting until about 12/1 o'clock, which made me feel like, well, what am I gonna do now? Matcha looks delicious today, which led me down the spiral of, okay, I can still start this work vlog, and it's pretty realistic because sometimes my mornings aren't super early, but I really want to start this vlog with the train sequence and going to a coffee shop that I like to go to work at. But then I was like, I always go to this coffee shop and vlog, so maybe I shouldn't go there. So I picked a different coffee shop, and then I did the math. I would probably be cutting it really close to getting to said coffee shop because I want to take the train for a specific shot, and I like to take the train. So because of that, I ended up just deciding not to go at all and saying bump that video because I could not make up my mind, and the indecisiveness and too many decisions ripped me to shreds, and here we are. The day is halfway done, and I am just now starting to do absolutely anything. If that isn't a peak representation of what it's like to adult with ADHD while you forgot to take your meds yesterday, I don't know what is. Like any functional adult with a job, I would love to clock out as much as I want to, but I already used one of my 2 off days this week, and I don't want to use a third because I know if I do, I'm gonna feel guilty about it later. And with that being said, I decided instead of sitting and making myself sick to my stomach over my inability to make decisions, because it's exhausting to me to make so many decisions in one day because I have so many to make every single day between my job, my friends, my family, my house, and even my mental health. I said, you know what? You're not gonna have a full-blown work day today, but we are gonna save this half day. So welcome to saving a half-wasted day in my life. I took my meds about an hour ago, and I think I'm ready to do something and make something of myself despite the mishap of this morning, because it definitely was a mishap. Since we're on the topic of half-wasted days, I thought this would be a perfect time to talk about today's video sponsor, which is BetterHelp. As somebody with ADHD, I'm a very much all or nothing person, which definitely gets a little bit hairy, and it's very disruptive more times than not, which is why when it comes to figuring out and navigating these feelings that I have in terms of being unproductive and feel like I have to go full throttle or nothing at all, I like to use BetterHelp for my therapy journey. If you aren't aware of what BetterHelp is an online therapy platform that allows you to get matched with a therapist within a few days after filling out a questionnaire. And I personally really like BetterHelp because you can interact with and contact and speak to your therapist in different forms, whether it be text messages, phone calls, or video calls. And all of these things coming together, making it a very seamless way to get into therapy if you're a beginner or you're looking to return to it. So if you're interested in testing out BetterHelp for yourself, you can use the link in my description or visit www.betterhelp.com/aliyah for 10% off your first month at BetterHelp. Thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring this portion of today's video, and let's go ahead and start resetting for our day. I notice myself really tweaking out in situations like this because the foundation of where I'm at mentally, emotionally, and physically are just not where they need to be. So today's gonna be a day of regulation, which means we're gonna tidy up my space, prep for work over the next couple days, and really just kind of give myself a block of time to do a mini reset. So when it is time for me to get back into my normal swing of things, there is no issues with getting back into it like we had this morning. I really like having a time constraint plan when it comes to resetting, because if I don't have a time constraint or a window where I need to do something, it's not going to get done because, like I said, take literally so much time to do absolutely anything. I don't know if that's an ADHD symptom or I'm just insane and I have zero time management. It's probably a little bit of both. But with that being said, my space has definitely looked a lot worse than this, and actually I just cleaned up my house about a week and a half ago, but it definitely could use some tidying up because there's stuff that's left out, there are things that can be put away, and I think it just looked a little bit better. So what better way to start a half-wasted day than cleaning up the crib? So let's go ahead and do that. My kitchen and living room are officially clean. It smells like fabuloso. I got some fresh air in here and it feels a lot better, a lot lighter. And honestly, when it comes to these like half-wasted days that I have more frequently than I'd like to admit, I like to do stuff that I've been holding off. Prime example, walk with me. Returning stuff that I'm supposed to bin, return, and exchange. So I have something from Urban Outfitters and something from Zara that I have been needing to return for a few weeks now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and return these because my sister's here. Do you wanna say hello? Hey. Regardless, it's getting done and I'm ready to go run some errands. You ready? Yeah, period. I just want the drop off that's prepaid. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Hello, girls, gays, and theys. We are officially sorry. Very squeaky chair. Totally side note, aside from the half-wasted day conversation, I was looking at my hair because I have to look at my hair every day. It's literally on my head. And I've been thinking, oh my gosh, I look so odd. I look so off. Da, da, da. So I took a picture of the back of my head just now in two different mirrors. The big mirror in my living room and then the mirror in my bathroom. And then I said, oh my God, no wonder you think you look weird because you have officially grew out your curly cut. I've been sitting here paralyzed and stressed thinking like, oh my gosh, I look bad and my entire job requires me to show up on camera. So like if I feel like I look weird, I can't do this. All because my hair grew out of the curly cut that I got back in November. I actually never do hair content over here on YouTube just because it's not really my niche, but I'm trying to like break out of that mindset. So if you guys want to see a hair routine of potentially how I grew my hair, like wash day routine, maybe like a week in my natural hair type of thing, let me know. How do we go from this to this? My hair has not grown this fast since I had locks, and high key kind of feeling like her, I'm not gonna lie. Now that you guys have a hair growth update that nobody asked for, I am going to explain why I'm in the studio. So if you're new here, welcome to the office. The studio is something a little different for a filming day that I had about a week ago where I filmed about 8 different videos, but I used a different mic that I normally do, and it didn't really mess with the sound, but it definitely isn't as crisp and clear as I would like. Trying to decide, do I want to refilm all of the TikToks that I filmed, or should I just film some new ones and call it a day? Because I have the energy right now while I have it, I think I am gonna do some filming today. Doing stuff like that doesn't necessarily require a lot of energy from me, so in my opinion, filming is low effort. The part that becomes high effort and high energy is when it turns into planning, and sometimes even storyboarding takes a lot of energy because you have to really put your creative thinking on. This chair is so squeaky and I don't know why. Do you hear this? Like, why are we doing that? Some days I plan out every single TikTok down to a script and hook and all that, but it's one of those days where I just kind of don't feel like it, and I know I just need to do something. Usually when I have these little half days, also this is not a vape, this is a fog machine, not too much. When it comes to these like half days that I've been chatting about, I just kind of do stuff when I know I can do it / when I feel like it, because if I don't do it when I feel like it, it's never gonna happen. Something my mom always told me / has been telling me recently is do something whenever you think about it or as soon as you feel like it, just so it's not something that gets added to that forever long, mentally straining, quite frankly, to-do list that I have. So we're gonna be doing that right now while I'm sitting here thinking about it. It doesn't necessarily matter what makes you feel like you wasted half your day, whether it's mental, emotional, physical health, or your body is just screaming for you to take some rest. It's very hard to ignore that very jarring feeling of guiltiness or underlying, like, why am I doing this when I know I could be doing something better with my time? And I hope you all know by this point, I am an avid person who uses social media. I post on social media. It's literally my job, but I hope you know that the reason we feel guilty when it comes to these conversations of half-wasted days and whatnot is all driven by social media and this toxic productivity cycle that we constantly see. It's not normal to be overly productive every day, but because of social media and the things that we are shown on a very consistent basis, it's very easy to get wrapped up in the cycle of, oh, I need to be doing X, Y, and Z every single day, when that's not realistic for everybody. Because when you factor stuff in like mental, physical, emotional health, let alone different lifestyles that people live, the jobs that they have, the schooling that they're doing, the family situations they're in, their living situations and finances, it's gonna look different for everybody. Finding what productivity means to us as individuals is probably the first step to tackling and abolishing this type of cycle that we're in, but also being able to realize you cannot give 100% of yourself every single day. If you're a very ambitious person and you have a lot of goals and dreams, you are gonna have to do stuff tired, but that does not mean it has to be your normal, and you should allow yourself time to sit and rot if that's what you need, and you're able to create a healthy balance between doing what you're supposed to do while also giving yourself the grace and time to recover from that. And I think that's the part that everybody seems to forget. For example, I spent the morning overthinking something so bad to the point where it paralyzed me for literally hours, and I ended up doing nothing that I was overthinking about, but I still decided to show up because at the end of the day, I know my future self is gonna thank me for doing this. And I think when you approach recovering time or playing catch up, just know you should always plan stuff based on what your future self is gonna thank you for. And when you start thinking through that lens, things get a whole lot easier. I'm not gonna sit up here and give you guys that, oh, you need to have discipline talk, because it's honestly run into the ground at this point, and we know that in order to see results in unexpected ways, you need consistency and discipline. But the thing that we also need to consistently do and give ourselves the discipline to do is have off days and mornings where we do nothing, but we still end up showing up. Not because we need to have the discipline to get where we need to be, that is a part of it, but because your body is probably screaming for you to put the brakes on something. So although half-wasted days suck and usually feel guilty for not doing anything, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's something to be guilty about. My personal favorite tip when it comes to these half-wasted days is doing stuff with low energy tasks. I really think it's important to have low energy tasks such as doing Amazon or clothing returns or cleaning up your space and doing little things to make sure that you are set up to have a brighter next few days or tomorrow when you can eventually try again. And I think having these low energy tasks and to-dos and whatnot allow you to still show up in a way where, although you really feel like you're running on fumes, it still gives you that little bit of dopamine that you probably need to get you up and going. I notice a really big thing, especially when it comes to ADHD. It really takes me a lot to get started because of the overthinking and decision paralysis and decision fatigue that I deal with. But once I kind of figure out that plan and get going, it's really easy from there. So I feel like once you kind of do a few low energy tasks to really get you up and get you in the mood and get you tackling that to-do list or even making your space a little bit brighter and better like we did today, it's all uphill from there. Ow, she's killing it. She's killing it. I am finally getting back after my little filming session, and I went ahead and filmed 3 videos, which is 3 more than I originally thought I was going to do today, and honestly, I'm very happy about that. There were a few other things that I could have done in the meantime, especially when I took my lunch break, that exuded a little bit of more energy than I was willing to give off. I decided not to do just because, one, I know for a fact I'm going to be up late tonight, so I need to go ahead and reserve the energy that I do have left for running around toddlers and staying up late tonight, because not only is running around with a toddler's hard, let alone staying up till midnight just to go home and still have to shower and do all that when I get back. Although I feel like I don't have it together, I still feel like I have a healthy baseline for what I want my everyday to look, and I still somewhat follow it despite me not showing up in the most like consistent way, if that makes sense. It feels like a bunch of nothing. What do they call it in school? Busy work? I feel like I did a bunch of busy work today, but work is work. And I showed up and did the things that I've been procrastinating on, such as refilming and returning stuff and blah, 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 blah. We really could have sat and made a big dent on my Letterboxd watch list by watching like 5 movies today like I really wanted to, but we still showed up, and that is all that matters, babe. So it's about that time where I go ahead and get ready to babysit. So I'm gonna go ahead and pack my bag. Now, I don't stay overnight when it comes to babysitting. I do stay till about 11:30 to 12. Sometimes I leave earlier than that. I usually don't know how the day / evening's gonna go until I'm getting updates from my cousin of when she's gonna be back. So we'll just wait and see. Usually whenever I go to babysit, or just whenever I know I'm gonna be somewhere for an extensive amount of time, I will usually bring a lot of my equipment, just because I never know what I'm gonna feel like doing until it's time to do it. And I would rather have a lot of the stuff that I mentioned whenever I have my free time. That gives me pretty much time to do anything I want. So trust and believe, I'ma do it. This has been my almost everyday bag, whether it's a work bag or just an everyday bag. This bag from Urban Outfitters has been my go-to for the past couple weeks, and it's literally so cute. I love it so bad. Speaking of what bags I've been liking, I thought about doing like a what's in my everyday bag situation, or like what's in my work bag. I said I single-handedly want to bring collaborations back to YouTube, and honestly I 100% meant that, but also I feel like there's just a simplicity and culture that is missing from YouTube that we just haven't seen in a really long time, due to I think everybody strive to be content creators and everything like that now, and because people think it needs to look a certain way, or they need to have like a certain lifestyle to have a good social media career. So I feel like the kind of like whimsy of YouTube kind of disappeared over the years, and I feel like little simple videos such as like playlist videos, I don't think I could do a playlist video right now because like, girl, I got bills to pay. But having videos like this, not perfect, it's not the most cinematic, it's not the most relatable, it's probably just kind of thrown together because that's what this whole filming process kind of feels like. But I think the simplicity of old YouTube is something a lot of people miss when they say YouTube is boring. YouTube isn't boring, it just lost its whimsy, and that's what y'all miss, whimsy. I think it's so funny every time I get on TikTok and somebody's like, oh my gosh, all YouTube creators are the same. Maybe on y'all's recommended, but because you don't go out of your way to find new people, of course it's gonna be the same. I could literally watch 10 people do the exact same thing, live in the same city, but I watch them for their personalities, not what they're doing. People have to realize it doesn't matter what somebody's doing, it's how they're doing it, and that's how you find a good creator that's entertaining to watch. It's because y'all be watching these beige baddies and they have the most bland personality on the planet, and then you wonder why your YouTube recommended sucks and YouTube is boring, because you're watching people who are boring. I am home now, and I just got out the shower, and I'm about to do my night skincare. If there's one thing I had to keep repurchasing and repurchasing, it would easily be this toner, because it is absolutely so good. I've literally seen my dark circles get a little bit lighter and lighter as every day passes whenever I use this, and it's honestly just amazing. It's so funny because I was like, do I even want to film an outro for this video? I could just film one in the bed and da-da-da, but honestly, I need to break the habit of not finishing vlogs at night when it's like a day in my life, because one thing y'all gonna beg for is the outro, even though most of y'all don't be watching to the end anyway. But I digress. Babysitting went really well tonight. The girls were absolute angels. I mean, they're usually always really good, so it's nothing really too crazy. I'm taking the CeraVe moisturizing lotion as my topping moisturizer. That's low-key a lot, and this is thick, so we high-key don't need that much. Something I've been doing recently is taking the Rhode glazing milk and mixing that in with the moisturizer, because it creates just such a good dewy base for the morning time. It just makes my skin look super glowy right off the wake up, which I personally love. For a half-wasted day, we actually ended up doing a lot, and honestly, I am super proud. The thing that has taken the absolute most energy from me today is filming an outro, funnily enough, because one thing I'm gonna do is get in that bed and say, good night, y'all, see y'all tomorrow. I still have to do my skincare and shower and all that fun stuff, so I was like, you know what? Let's break the bad habit habits. We're already exuding way less energy than normal. So let's go ahead and just film an outro for the girls. As I'm doing my body care, I wanted to go ahead and close out today's video as I've been hinting at thus far, because we have reached the end of our half-wasted day. And like I said, we low-key did a lot more than I was ever expecting. And honestly, that's all I could ever really ask when it comes to a half-wasted day. I think we spent some good quality chitty-chatty time together. And I always come on my social platforms to make you guys feel seen, heard, recognized, and important. And just make you realize, like, hey, not everybody lives that American Psycho, my 5 to 9 before my 9 to 5 lifestyle, and that is absolutely okay. So I hope I am somewhat of a beacon of inspiration yet realistic motivation for you all who tune into my videos regularly. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, this is YouTube, so you know the drill. Like, subscribe if you haven't already. Yes, I'm ending this video on a towel because I am in fact sleeping like this tonight. One of them days, not too much. If you made it this far into the video, make sure you comment this emoji right here so I let you know that you made it to the end and you're a real one and you actually do watch the videos to the end, because it actually does help me a lot with the algorithm. I'm going to go ahead and finish lotioning my body off camera because, babe, wrong website, and I cannot wait to see you on the next video. And with that being said, I hope you have an amazing morning, evening, or night wherever you are in the world, and I cannot wait to see you on the next one. Good night, everybody.